Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you. It's for Sunday, 10th day of January, and this will close out our rather long section on the laws of the bracha of Shehecheyanu. If you have not seen a friend in 30 days, the letter of the law is that you would say the full bracha of Shehecheyanu upon seeing him, because there's a joy in seeing someone who you haven't seen in 30 days or more. Stay tuned to the end, where we're going to say that the custom is not to make this full bracha anymore, but I'm just telling you the letter of the law first. So, according to the letter of the law, you do make the bracha of Shehecheyanu when seeing a friend for the first time in 30 days, if it brings you great joy and happiness to see this friend. If you got letters from that person during those 30 days, so then you were already kind of sort of in contact with him, and then you would make no Shehecheyanu upon seeing him. Same thing as if you have spoken to him on the phone during those 30 days, then no Shehecheyanu upon seeing him, because, the joy is thereby made a little bit more minimal. If the person was sick during those 30 days and you've heard about his recovery and now you're seeing him after those 30 days, that would ramp up the reason for maybe, yes, being eligible for making the bracha for seeing that person. If you see this situation coming and you're wondering because you're not sure if you should or shouldn't, we've told you the law, but it's questionable, then the appropriate thing to do would be to check with your rabbi first. Say, I'm going to meet this person who I haven't seen in 35 days and they were not well. So what do you think? Should I make a Shehecheyanu? Should I make a Shehecheyanu without a bracha? And your rabbi should guide you on these kinds of situations. According to the letter of the law, if you haven't seen a person in a year, then you make the bracha of Machaya HaMesim, he who brings the dead back to life. That's the feeling you have when you see a person you haven't seen in a year, and then you would make the bracha of Machaya HaMesim. And if you have said the bracha of Machaya HaMesim, then there's no longer a need to make the bracha of Shehecheyanu, because that kind of superseded the bracha of Shehecheyanu. When we say these brachas, a man would say this bracha even upon seeing a woman, if that woman is a relative to him and it's all appropriate and everything. So if, let's say a father meets his daughter who has been away at seminary for a year. Well, that's a little unusual, but she's been away for a year or more, then he would say these brachas possibly when seeing his daughter again after the year. But when it's someone who's not your relative, and if you're going to be good and proper and from, then it's a little too intimate to say this to a woman who you're not related to, vice versa for a woman saying that to a man that she's not related to, and therefore in halacha we would say, no, hold off and don't make the bracha on that occasion. Nowadays you should just know that our custom on these brachas is kind of lenient, and we're not so quick to make these brachas, because nowadays in this information age, the joy of seeing someone is just kind of plain-ish, and it doesn't feel like such a welling up of joy in your heart, and therefore we don't often find people making these Shehecheyanu brachas for this situation, or for the Machaya HaMesim for 1 year. So some people say the bracha, but they say it without God's name. They would say Baruch Shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'giyanu lazman hazeh when seeing someone after 30 days, or Baruch Machaya HaMesim upon seeing someone after not having seen them for a year. And lastly, if they were in battle, like let's say they were, in Israel today, they were sent onto the battlefield and they came back safe and sound, then there's more reason to express a great amount of joy upon seeing them after 30 days for Shehecheyanu, after a year for Machaya HaMesim. If you know that that event is coming in your life, speak to your rabbi so you'll have the appropriate bracha ready when seeing that person. That ends our section on Shehecheyanu, which we've been on for more than a week or two now. Hope you enjoyed it, and now we'll move on to new topics. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.